everything to... show that we should be live. Just waiting for YouTube to come live. Yep, looks good. YouTube seems to be live as well. Fantastic. Welcome back, guys. Now, this is weird. You know, the other day I showed you guys
118.805.
the new app here, FlyHub, right? Now, I searched for the connection from Stuttgart to Berlin, and they gave me the Eurowings flights. Now, what's annoying is the fact that, I mean, these are real-world flight numbers, and all of these are already taken on VATSIM. So I had to take the 4 Bravo Alpha. That was the only one I could file on VATSIM now. So, this seems to be now quite popular. So initiate boarding. Start the flight.
FHAS 251, give way to opposite Eurowings A320, passing right to further right momentarily. The Alpha taxi Lima 2, Mike.
And I would have done the flight already, locked that flight from Manchester to Stuttgart, but the flight number was already taken, so I couldn't do the flight. Now I have to see if there's another way to do this, like if I can...
51 Echo taxi Mike, hold short of you,
can make a flight, you know, with my own flight number or something. That's something I'm not sure about yet. Anyways, we've logged on to have the flight now monitored by the FlyHub app, and it should give us some nice data regarding the landing later on and the approach, because it will give us a rating. So that was 4 Bravo Alpha. Right. So the overlay should be looking good as well. Fantastic. Good. Anyhow, we have that running in the background. And then we will go. I'm going to do the following, guys. I'm going to go and get everything ready really quickly, but we will do an outside check. Outside check is something I promised you guys, so we'll do that. That is completed. Import the next flight. Dismiss. Now we're not. Shall we do it daytime? Or real time? I think we'll do it daytime, because we already had a nighttime flight. So we'll depart in 15 minutes. So we'll do that to 12.
1 to Yankee, contact tower on 118.805. Have a nice flight. Bye.
50.
8805.
Yeah, we'll do it that way. Mass and balance. We're going to go have a look at the flight plan quickly to make sure that we have the right values. Thank you very much, Takeoff Pilot. Alles Gute morgen. Let's have a look. The weather, I mean, I can set the weather to live weather. Hang on. So we can go custom. Live weather. There we go. Yeah, thanks.
Wing 51 Echo, continue taxi.
So, mass and balance, sported.
Wing 51 Echo, roger. Then taxi name, correction, taxi Mike, hold short, stand 16.
Oh, hang on. Flights.
Temporary. With 57 Juliet Yankee, pushback and startup approved, facing west, east of Lima 2.
facing west, extending into
So, load aircraft, instant. There we go. So now everything's loaded. And we are planning for a zero fuel at 58.8, correct? Fuel on board should be with Leipzig as the alternate. Fuel on board should be 7.2, which we have. Fantastic. And then we'll do a really quick preparations to get going. So we have, let's see, Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha, Stuttgart, Berlin, Leipzig alternate, fantastic. Request here. So Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha.
Bring 5 on Echo, yes, as instructed. Mike, hold short, stand 16.
4 Bravo Alpha. Then costs next. Let me just get the flat one here. So we have costs next 50. Okay, 50. Cruise level initially 260. Minus 30. Minus 28 initially. There we go. 28.
Bring 5 on Echo, continue Lima 2, November, and Alpha
11 degrees.
5 it is.
The final load sheet should be already here. So if we go to Atsu, here's the menu, receive
Boeing
messages.
5 on Echo, continue Lima 2, November, and Alpha to holding point runway 25.
So here's the final load sheet, 58.8.
Rank 73 Alpha, are you able for push and pull?
Yes.
With a CG of 31.6. 31.6.
Rank 73 Alpha, roger.
Lock fuel, we said 7.2.
Stuttgart ground, hello, Condor 45 kilo, take 320, stand 15, we are ready for push.
And
Condor 45 kilo, Stuttgart ground, hello, are you able for push and pull?
alternate fuel is 2.2. Wow. That's a
ACM
lot.
45 kilo.
Condor 45 kilo, roger, thanks.
So if extra, it says 52 minutes. Sounds a bit excessive. Let's do the wind data.
Swiss 5, 7 Juliet Yankee, taxi holding control runway 25 via Lima 2, November, hold short Charlie.
Then in the meantime, let me get the
Lima 2,
clearance.
November, hold short Charlie.
They do have data link,
Swiss
fantastic.
5, 7
So
Juliet
we'll go
Yankee, are you able for
ATC
intersection
menu.
Bravo, available
No.
takeoff runway 24,
Welcome
25
aboard
meters.
the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber experience.
And
Could
suspect
new
Yankee
subscribers please make your way to
Der Drehflügler, hello, wie geht's?
7 Juliet Yankee, thanks, and continue.
Thank you so much for 37 months. Long time. Thank you so much for that. So at gate 14,
Kilo, push and start approved, face
information
disconnect
latest
stand
will
15,
be
push and pull.
information
And
November.
push and start approach facing east, and will we disconnect at stand 15, Condor 45 kilo.
So we're at 14,
Yes,
correct?
You understand? Push
Yeah,
and pull.
14 it is. Okay, so let's send that off.
ACM, you want we push facing east, but we
Ja, der Leipzig ist die alternate, ja.
Whoa.
Drehflüger noch, hallo und vielen Dank.
On stand 15.
So 2.5 for
Yep,
departure, meaning it should be Dinkelsbühl 9
Rank 73 Alpha, pushback and start
Bravo.
approved, facing west.
Dinkelsbühl 9 Bravo,
Beam stand
insert.
19er.
Wind data is here. Berlin will take the 2-4 left
Rank 73 Alpha, confirm a beam
Zulu.
stand 19er, so east of Lima 2.
at Gup. So we'll take the approach via Glasdorf, okay. At Gup 1
Lima 2.
Lima. However, Glasdorf, okay, we'll try that. So looking at the arrival there. Yeah, looks good. Looks very good. We'll do that. Fantastic. Cool.
Boeing 251 Echo, contact now Stuttgart Tower on 118.8050.
So let's see if it works this time. Maybe last time we weren't quite patient enough. So we got dry runway 25. We'll do PAX off this time because of the Weidere Höhe, little mountain range to the west. We have to clear. 65.7. Let's just check that. 65, 66, yeah, 65.7 taxi time. Yeah, that's fine. Live weather. I'm going to go with 1015. Take 11 degrees. So, there we go. And intersection. Yeah, I think might be a good idea. Because if we take Charlie, okay, I'll take Charlie. We may save a bit of time. So we'll take Charlie, 2,000 meters, 2,000 meters. So that would give us config 3. Now let's try config 2. Yeah, config 2, flex 49. 290 meter stop margin. Yeah, we'll take that. Send. So still missing my PDC, unfortunately. Um, 21915.
For November, correct? To Frankfurt, the Tower 4 Bravo departure, flight plan route, climb the altitude 5,000, score 1,000.
Oh, you said Eurowings before, that's why I didn't know it was me. Cleared to Frankfurt by Tower 4 Bravo, I said 5,000, score 1,000, from the 2 for Bravo.
So from the 2-4 Bravo, read back correct.
Stuttgart delivery, good morning to Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha. Requesting clearance to Berlin, please. Information November.
Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha, Stuttgart delivery, good November, correct to Berlin. Dinkels full 9 at Bravo departure, flight plan route. Climb the altitude 5,000 feet, score 2652.
Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha, clear to Berlin via runway 25, Dinkelsbühl 9 Bravo departure, climb initially 5,000 and a score 2652.
Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha, read back correct.
Okay, so for some reason PDC didn't go through. Can happen. Well, we've got that up to 5,000. Let's recycle the. Actually, let's get the flight director on. That way, we've got now climb nav blue 5,000 1016. Fantastic. That is already on. That is on. Let's close. Actually, let's go ahead and let's do that to get everything closed. And yeah, so as expected, Dinkelsbühl 9 Bravo, runway 25.
Eurowings 2-1, Mike, request push and turn.
So waypoints, Dinkelsbühl 9 Bravo. So Stuttgart 252 radio, 5.6, 339 track, back 25 degrees. And then we go Luburg. So 339, max to 30 in a turn. And then 053 course to Luburg. And then we go to Dinkelsbühl. Right. But that should be an overlay, not this one. Departure overlay chart. Yeah. Which makes it easier because now we can just simply get the waypoint 1700, Sierra 50, 40, 230 below, 41, Luburg, Dinkelsbühl.
Hold position. That was approved for push. Call ground 118.605.
Yeah, this sounds very British, yeah, I agree.
Setup approved, and for push, apron 118.605, headwings 201.
And Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha fully ready, stand 1-4.
Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha, CPU, full position, start approved, push, ground 118.605, Schönaben noch.
Over to ground 118.605. Ebenso, Dankeschön, tschüss, die Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha.
Ciao.
18 request pushback.
Ranks 2010, Stuttgart ground, good evening. Traffic line, stand by short.
And ground Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha stand 1-4, also requesting push.
Ranks 4 Bravo Alpha, Stuttgart ground, hello. Push and start approved, facing east, to beam stand 1-3.
Push and start approved, facing east, a beam stand 1-3. Copied, Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha.
Ranks 3 Juliet Lima, continue Oscar, Lima 3 and Mike, stand 1-0.
Before start, no disregard. Let's do the heat pins covers remove. Fuel quantity 7,180 kilograms. All balanced.
Stuttgart ground. Servus Eurings 21 Mike. Gate 1.
Seatbelts on. ADIRS.
Ranks 2-1 Mike, Stuttgart ground, guten Abend.
NAV
Push and start approved, facing
und
east,
Bar
stay clear
Ref
of stand
1016 set.
Push that approved. Facing east. Stay clear of 10.
Before start, park brake off, takeoff speeds thrust. We have 127, 131, 135. Flex 49. Windows doors closed. Hold on.
Ranks 2010, push and start approved, facing east,
Closed.
west of Lima 2.
And the beacon
Approved, facing east, staying
is
clear
on
of Lima
before
2,
start.
covering 201.
Engine starts. Good pressure, pumps are on. Starting engine 1. What does the mode select button do in the middle of the fuel panel between the two? So this one here, so we've got mode select manual for the center tanks or crossfeed. If that's the one you mean. So that opens the valve to feed from the opposite tank. It can be helpful when you have an engine failure to equalize the fuel. Starting engine 2. Oh, we should put
Confirm 5 Kilo, continue in November and Alpha, contact tower 118, decimal 8054. Continue
Yeah,
November and
seriously.
Alpha, contact tower 118, 805, for the dozen.
We would like to welcome you on board your
Stuttgart ground, good evening.
and together my cabin crew here for
Correction, 105, Victor Golf, Stuttgart ground, good evening. Continue Sierra, hold shot Lima 2.
Yeah, and like a
Cockpit to ground.
Sierra, hold shot.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
larger electronic devices.
Alpha U's got Haribo livery. That's nice.
Load in your hand luggage. Please ensure that your
Good.
seatbelts now
So
pressed
flaps
fast,
2,
and together with my team, I wish you a pleasant stay on board.
trim, down 0.3 again, and flight controls.
Sehr geehrte Gäste, haben Sie jetzt auch mit den Sicherheitsvorkehrungen unseres
Go.
Flugzeuges vertraut?
There we go. So we have full
Halte
up,
Aufmerksamkeit. Dear guests, we
full
will
down,
familiarize your safety
neutral,
instructions of the
full
aircraft
left,
and ASP underline
full
attention.
right,
Wir zeigen Ihnen zunächst, wie Sie Ihren
neutral,
Sicherheitsgurt
rudder full
schließen und
left,
wieder öffnen können.
full
We will
right.
now show you how to fasten
Neutral.
and unfasten your seatbelt. Im Falle eines Druckverlustes fallen automatisch
Stuttgart ground, hallo, Lufthansa 8 Alpha.
No, Jacob.
On
No,
Vertrieb, ja, ready.
if you look at the fuel,
Lufthansa 8 Alpha, Echo Stuttgart ground, guten Abend.
So,
Taxi
all you're
Oscar,
doing
hold short Lima 2.
you're opening this valve here. The mode selector for the manual pumps here, center tank, that is something you would switch off in case of a problem with the center tank pumps. That's something different. Right, all clear. So this just cross-feed on, that opens the cross-feed there to equalize the fuel. That's it.
Don't forget your mother-in-law. There are also oxygen masks provided in the laboratory.
Did he just say, don't forget your mother-in-law?
Passengers are not allowed to congregate in rooms around the laboratories. Dieses Flugzeug verfügt über 8 deutlich gekennzeichnete Notausgänge, welche mit Wünschen ausgestattet sind. 2 im vorderen Teil, 4
After start, anti-ice off not required. Ecom status checked, pitch trim down 0.3, rudder trim neutral. After such check is completed.
Cargo is
2 in the front, 4 over the wings.
Lufthansa Cargo A361, shift ground command taxi. Yeah, it's just straight at 2 stand 100.
Darin finden Sie weitere wichtige Hinweise wie die
Taxi to
Schutzzeichnung
stand 100. Cargo is
Darüber hinaus sind Sie verpflichtet, den Leuchtzeiten sowie Anweisungen der Kabinenleitung jederzeit Folge zu leisten.
Drinks 2-1, Mike, order.
And Drinks 4 Bravo Alpha, ready taxi anytime.
Drinks 4 Bravo Alpha.
Yeah, so he's the first in line, that's why.
Lufthansa 2 Bravo.
There we go, he's waiting for us as well.
Okay, Lufthansa 8 Alpha Echo, how's the taxi looking?
I would guess these are all people here from the community. They're all flying to Berlin. Hey, Mert.
Drinks 2010, taxi Lima 2, November and Alpha, rolling point runway 25. Condor 5 Victor Golf, correction, give way to Eurings A319 at Lima 2, thereafter taxi Lima 2 and Mike, stand 14.
Ah, okay, so this Condor is going to park here. That's why we had to push a beam 1-3.
Mike, stand.
So he's going to go out, Condor is going to come in. So it's going to be a bit of delay for us.
Correct, Lufthansa 8 Alpha Echo, give way to opposite Condor A320, thereafter taxi November and hold short Charlie.
I'm giving way to confirm Condor opposite section and then taxi by November, Lufthansa 8 Alpha Echo.
The Eurings is expediting. GG's.
Eurings 3 to Lima on stand. Danke für Service. Tschüss.
Gerne. Lufthansa 2 for Bravo, taxi Oscar, hold short Lima 2.
Oscar, hold short Lima 2, Lufthansa 2 for Bravo.
So he's also waiting now, 321 Lufthansa. That's nice.
Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha, give way to opposite Condor A320 for stand 14, thereafter taxi Lima 2, November and hold short Charlie.
Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha, behind the Condor to park at 14, will taxi Lima 2 November and hold short of Charlie. Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha.
Eurings 2010 are able to depart from intersection Bravo, available takeoff runway 2435 meters.
He came around the corner a bit fast as well, didn't he?
Yes, we're able intersection Bravo 2010.
Eurings 2010, thanks, then taxi November and Bravo, contact tower 118805 here.
118805 and 3 clears November and Bravo 25.
So we'll take the nose gear, turn the flights on. Come on, keep...
correct, Lufthansa 8 Alpha Echo, taxi
Come on,
November
keep going.
and Alpha, contact tower 118805 here.
There you go.
November and Alpha, contact tower 12... Can you say frequency again? Lufthansa 8 Alpha Echo.
118805.
Don't be shy, there's enough room here for all of us.
18805.
118.805, Lufthansa 8 Alpha Echo.
Right, left side now clear,
Lufthansa
right
2
side
for
clear.
Bravo, continue
Let's
November and Alpha, holding point runway 25.
Continue November and Alpha, runway 25, for Bravo.
Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha, you can continue Lima 2, November and Bravo, available takeoff runway 2435 meters, advise when unable.
Okay, Lima 2 November and then Bravo. We are able Bravo intersection for departure. Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha.
Eurings 2-1 Mike, same for you.
So,
follow company ahead, Lima 2 November Bravo, available takeoff runway 2435 meters, read back only if able.
to following the company front.
Yeah, so we had Charlie intersection, now we got Bravo, is fine. So I'm just going to go and adjust the shift in a minute. The rest is safe anyway. So here's the Lima 2. So we'll take a right here. Then back left for November.
Lufthansa 2 for Bravo, contact now Stuttgart Tower on 118.8050.
So there's November.
Likewise, thank you.
Star Miner, no, all good. We're here. Okay, so tower was
actually Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha and Eurings 21 Mike, you both. Are you able to depart from Charlie? Available takeoff runway 2175 meters.
Yeah, 4 Bravo Alpha FM.
Eurings 21 Alpha is here.
Nice.
Eurings 21 Mike and 4 Bravo Alpha, thank you very much.
Well, thank
Then Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha, continue November and November Delta and Charlie, holding point runway 25.
November, Delta, and then Charlie, runway, holding point runway 25, Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha. Good.
2 Mike, follow company ahead, Charlie.
So Delta is here and then Charlie. Fantastic. Okay, cool.
Eurings 1 for Charlie, continue Lima 2, Mike, stand 11.
That should be tower.
Eurings 1 for Charlie, taxi, stand 11 via Lima 2 and Mike.
It's interesting that, just like in real life, this is all downhill. So the aircraft does accelerate. And then you have to be so careful not to exceed 30 knots. Maximum taxi speed. So here's the fire brigade. Fantastic, Charlie. Good, that means Charlie intersection. So we leave everything as we've calculated, including the 900 meters shift, which is correctly inserted there. Good. Okay, so engine out is going to be in 2,800 feet and just straight ahead 25 miles to hold. Now we've got to be careful.
Eurings 2 Mike, contact tower 118.8050.
18.805, Eurings 2 Mike, danke Bill, schönen Abend noch.
Danke sehr, stopp. Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha, contact Stuttgart Tower 118.8050.
118.805. Vielen Dank, bis zum nächsten Mal, die Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha.
So, gleich.
805.
Eurings 1 for Charlie, stand occupied, taxi Mike, stand 12.
Mike, stand 12, Eurings 1 for Charlie.
So that was Delta, sorry, that was Echo, now next should be Delta.
Landing A320, land runway 25 behind.
So, engine out procedure is inserted, and then engine... NDP 2 is 2280, 2280. 28 engine out. So that is all set. Departure is going to be 2505, and I think we have to call them ourselves after takeoff.
Lufthansa 8 Alpha Echo, line up runway 25.
So let's just make sure that we have Delta and then Charlie correctly set. Yeah, that's Charlie there. Fantastic. I'll go right here. Stuttgart Tower. Now with Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha approaching Charlie intersection, holding short 25. Ready.
4 Bravo Alpha Stuttgart Tower.
Stuttgart.
Lufthansa 229 expert vacate please. Eurings 2010 wind variable 2 knots on 825, cleared for takeoff, no delay.
3 minute takeoff, Eurings 2010 runway 25, choose.
Eurings 229 air contact ground 418, 605, choose.
Ground on 118,
No, that's a joke, Gerald. No. The brakes shouldn't really go above 300 degrees Celsius. So any holding area at the runway is just for sequencing. Yeah, I mean, I've never heard that anyone has to cool their brakes there. Taxi checklist, flight controls checked, flap setting, config 2, radar, PWS on and auto, engine mode selector normal, and ECA memo takeoff no blue. Taxi checklist complete. Now for lineup, it's going to be takeoff 25 Charlie intersection. Put the TCAS on already.
Cleared for takeoff, just.
And then PAX will go
off.
Yes, well. Ooh, spicy. Here's a departure. Arrival. Love the flowers on the ground there. Nice 321. GG's. Beautiful. And arriving traffic. How did you get your name, Black Box 711? Well, I mean, Black Box, as it has to do with aviation. And 711 was back when I had my last flight as a first officer or senior first officer on the 747. That was the flight number from Tokyo to Frankfurt, 711. I had to come up with the number, so that looks nice. Oh, nice one. Greased that one. GG's. Pro pilot. And a 319 as well. Respect. And now 4 brakes on. Passengers like, what the hell? $711? Okay, because of the Porsche. Or what? Haley. Oh, of course. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Phone dial, yeah. The area code 711. You're right. There's another traffic. He's at 3 miles. Yeah, they're probably not going to give us lineup and departure. That aircraft is still taxiing down. Just taking a bit too much time.
Yo, Lufthansa 22 Echo Lima, wind variable to north, runway 25, clear to land. Runway 25, clear to land, Lufthansa 22 Echo Lima. Lufthansa 9 Tango X-ray, taxi left on Sierra and contact ground. 118, 605, just.
Sierra ground 118, 605, Lufthansa 19, X-ray RE.
Übrigens 4 Bravo Alpha, behind next landing A320, line runway 25 behind.
Behind next landing, A320 via Charlie, line up and wait behind T-rings 4 Bravo. So I said via Charlie, just to make sure that he didn't mix us up with the other traffic there. Touchdown. Looking good. All right, let's line up. Last things to do is pack 1 and 2 off, and the strobe lights.
Lufthansa 24 Bravo, line runway 25.
So left side approach sector is clear. Takeoff checklist. Or lineup checklist. Takeoff runway is 25 Charlie. TCAS, TARA, pack 1 and 2 off. Lineup checklist completed. We're fully ready. Gonna reset the. Oh, we're not a 787. Only 320. I have radar on. My first officer will have.
Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha, when airborne on advisory, wind level to not runway 25, cleared for takeoff, tschüss.
After airborne monitor advisory and runway 25 clear takeoff. Actually just the Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha. So we have the time running.
22 Echo Lima, taxi left on Sierra and contact ground. 118-605.
Takeoff. Manflex 49, SAS runway auto thrust blue, thruster set. Pause the rate. Gear up. And I think you can't see the there we go. Yeah, the camera. Jumpseat cam, yeah, exactly. There you go, that's better. Right, so let's get thrust climb out blue out of thrust, changing to advisory. Actually, let's put the packs on first. And then we can accelerate.
Lufthansa
Flaps
2
1,
Bravo,
speed
wind level
checked,
to not
flaps
when
1.
airborne, mount advisory 25, cleared for takeoff, tschüss.
25, clear for takeoff, when airborne, pushing to advisory.
That's okay, there we go. Cool. And flaps 0, speed is checked, flaps 0, autopilot coming on. Spoilers disarmed. We'll take those lights off. And then we're good to go. That looks good. Happy with that. Outstar. Okay, so there's no traffic above us, I think. Let's put this to above. Let's check the range a bit more. Looking good. Let's climb 260. Thrust climb up to 260. Transition. Altimeter standard. Thrust checked. There's the airport. No, Peter, I had the landing lights were... Yeah, I forgot the landing lights initially, but they are on now. That was a quick departure.
Later on, please be careful when opening the overhead tracks that your luggage cannot fall out and cause injury. And if your electronic device is heating up, it can then chill away.
It's interesting. The main thread is getting hammered for some reason. Struggling to get 60 FPS here. Exactly, Airbus, yeah. So the moment you switch on the autopilot, that clacking sound is the locking pins engaging. Oh really? Yeah. Mimis, you're right over at your university. Nice.
As soon as we reached our final cruising altitude and we finished our service preparations, we will come to your Wings Bistro service, where you can buy hot and cold beverages, alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks, as well as snacks and fresh sandwiches. Our prices and our complete list of goods is listed in Wings Bistro magazine and seats on the top front.
Good. In clouds, plus 7 degrees.
As well as
Take the landers off here. Nothing on the radar. Yeah, let's take the seatbelts off as well. Then, as always, we'll have RATNAV clear. Secondary copy active. And fix info clear. And that's it. Good to go. Has it ever happened that the latching pin stays in, so engaged after autopilot disconnect? No. No, never had that. Never heard of that either. Louis, hello to you. Doing well, thanks for asking. It's quite interesting. So yesterday, Monday, so the day after I returned from Lelystad, man, I was so tired. So it was lovely to chat with everyone, but it was exhausting. Didn't I guess maybe not didn't practice often enough. Okay, guys, I'm going to test your knowledge a bit, shall we? So let's see. Let's see how much you know about the Airbus. Oh! Hoppala! Master caution. Autoflight. FAC 1 fault. Yeah. Confirmed. Fault light. So what's the FAC? Yeah, right. Flight augmentation computer, exactly. What does it do? I don't want to know everything, but is there something specific you could think of that you would lose if both FACs failed? Some protections, yes. But there's something very rudder's also a very good point. Rudder travel limiter maybe. So this thing here, those little brackets, at the moment, that's a maximum rudder deflection the system will give you. The thing is that the FAC 2 has taken over. That's why we're still in normal law. So we can see double green dashed lines everywhere, meaning normal law. Yeah, Professor San. So what it does, it's giving you the speed indication. So green dot, flap extension, or the flap limit speeds. If both FACs fail. Okay, so let me fail the other FAC just for demonstration, okay? So now the other FAC is going to fail. So now let's see what happens. Ah. Autopilot off. Manual flight. Okay. So we can see we're losing auto thrust and auto flight. Now look at here. Speed limit. Yeah, and we are on alternate law, correct. So we have to move the thrust levers manually. Indeed. So we're in alternate law, autopilot off. Okay, now look at this. So somebody said rudder. Exactly. We're losing the protections here for the max deflection. Good, let's do a quick ECAM action. So autoflight, autopilot off. Checked. Clear autoflight. Flight controls. Alternate law. Protection lost. Max speed 320. Checked. Flight control clear. Autoflight, autothrust off. FAC 1 and 2 fold. Rudder with care above 160 knots. Then it says FAC 1 and 2 off, then on. Now you have to be careful with the wording here. It doesn't say 1, then 2. It says 1 and 2. So at the same time, okay? So we do 1, 2. It's a switch. My voice. It's a switch. We wait for 5 seconds. And then pray that we get it reset. 2,000 feet. And so 1, 2, on again. Nah. Looks good. Computer reset. Let's try auto thrust. Thrust climb. Let's try autopilot 1. Autopilot 1. Black box lucky, yeah. So there we go. Procedure completed. Status clean. Everything was good, right? What happens if you exceed 320 knots? The thing is that it has no overspeed protection information. So potentially you see that red and black bar that comes up here, the barber pole. That shows you the max speed, the indicated speed. Now that comes down. As the higher you go, the more that comes down. Thousand feet. Let's go vertical speed. Now, Dennis, if the reset weren't successful, then potentially yes, you wouldn't really fly, you know, for more than an hour, let's say, simply because you're flying manually. You're not RVSM approved anymore. Remember, guys, RVSM means you need to have at least one autopilot system that does altitude hold, which we don't have with both FACs failed, right? Hold on. I cleared everything. Hold on. There we go. Speed out. Okay, cool. That's clear. Alright, what else can we do? Now. Let's see. So we're flying along. The cabin crew is doing their service, and then you get. Let's see. You get this message. Now we should be odd level. Let's do vertical speed altitude 270 for odd level. Now we get the indication, door right aft cabin. What would you do? Of course, ECAM actions, so door right aft cabin. If abnormal cabin vertical speed, max level 100, minimum route or more. So we would go to the pressure page. So we go to pressure. And there's no abnormal vertical speed. Thank you much, Professor San. Where did you see me? Just out of curiosity, because so many people approached me. Okay, so there's no abnormal indication of vertical speed, okay. So clear door. And that just says status if abnormal cabin vertical speed, max level 100. So we'd have to descend. ECAM actions completed. What else can we do? Would you just fly along now, or is there something we may use as a good CRM? Ah, Caleb, hello to you. Ah, Glenn, push the door handle to be sure. So what I would do, I would call the aft cabin crew member and ask, for example, if he or she notices any hissing noises. Or actually, you should maybe ask, first of all, do you notice something unusual at the aft right door? Yeah, we already checked the cabin altitude. Yeah, we already did. That's all good. And there isn't any bigger descent. That was in the checklist. But I mean outside of the checklist. So now, yeah, I would call the cabin attendant. Say, sorry that I have to disturb your service. Could you do me a favor and check the door 4 or 3 right, and let me know if you find anything unusual. So, if there were any issues with the seal, there would be a hissing noise, a very loud hissing noise. Like a whistling noise, right? You would hear that. Okay. Of course, now we've got to contact ATC. So yeah, you would check that, and somebody said push the handle down. Also a good idea. Yeah, I like that. 33565. 33.
The 796 identified direct Limo. It's remote, Lufthansa 763.
München, hallo, die Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha Level 270.
Wings 4 Bravo Alpha, moin, identified direct Atgut.
Dankeschön, direkt Atgut, die 4 Bravo Alpha.
Low question, German Cargo 195, right heading 170. Right heading 170.
Atgup, look at that, what a direct.
Good evening,
VIP.
280.
Yeah, bench exactly, in the 747.
Calling 2806.
Exactly.
Sorry, ED5616, you are 380.
Okay guys, so now let's say the cabin crew says, Pushback says, yeah, there's a very loud hissing sound. And it does feel as if there's an airflow somewhere. What would you do then?
Conrad Lima Charlie 320. The 1 Tango Charlie, descent 5000 on QNH 1012, speed 2200 knots. 2200 knots, 5000 QNH 1012, descent 1 Tango Charlie.
So,
German Cargo 195, descent.
I would agree with that. So, a combination of an indication that somehow there's the lock has an issue, right? So it's telling you something's wrong with the door itself. So the sensor that senses that the door is completely flush is saying the door isn't exactly in place. Now, someone quite rightly said, well, the differential pressure, since it is a plug type door, would press the door into the frame. So there is really no risk. There is no bigger risk that the door will blow out. Right? The thing is, if you have a very loud hissing sound or whistling sound, some of the passengers may get worried. Okay. Regarding descending and diverting, I'm not sure if I would divert. But what do you think is the disadvantage of descending to a lower flight level? Why would that potentially help? So again, the door will not blow out. It's just not physically possible. Indeed, if we fly a lot lower, squawk 1000, your rings 4 Bravo. So indeed, the fuel flow will be higher, and then you would have to check. So you could put in cruise level 100, and the FMS would then calculate the optimum speed, and also if you could reach your destination. Exactly. So the only reason a descent may help a bit with the hissing sound is that you reduce the differential pressure between inside and outside. Okay. So I would probably think maybe I won't descend down to 100. I could say let's descend level 200 first of all.
Lufthansa 5 Tango Charlie, descend 4,000 feet.
Right.
One Tango Charlie?
That would reduce the differential pressure, and then we could check again if the hissing sound is still there. If that doesn't help, maybe level 150. Check again. But I like the suggestion regarding to press down the handle properly. That can actually happen, that the handle just pops out just a tad and kind of, it doesn't really unlock the whole door, but it can mean that the door just moves like a millimeter, and then that sensor loses contact. Now, if there is no hissing sound, very likely it's a faulty sensor. And then I would stay here and just have the cabin crew monitor the situation.
Hello, you identified.
Oh!
German Cargo 195, contact tower 121-105.
Okay, I think we descend. We'll descend. I didn't touch anything, okay.
Lufthansa 1 Tango Charlie on the heading, maintain 4 till glide path cleared on runway 22.
Lufthansa 1 Tango Charlie on the heading, cleared ILS 22.
Your rings 4 Bravo Alpha request.
Descent flight level 100.
He's busy.
2000 or greater.
Present heading, descent 100,
and the rate 2000 or greater.
2000 or greater,
Zero wings 2010, descent flight level 210 at 2500 or greater.
500 or greater, descending level 210, wings 210.
Cook 73, switch advisory.
He's very busy right now, hang on. What frequency are we on?
Sierra Uniform 116, direct south.
33565. Echo Delta Mike Oscar.
Lufthansa 2 Romeo, descent flight level 210.
Yeah, I don't want to declare pan or something.
Stuttgart, Browser, Uniform 116.
Ja, danke. Itaro 290, expect ILS 26.
Expect ILS 26 right, Itaro.
And the Eurings 4 Bravo Alpha request.
Level 150, climb to flight level 330.
Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha, call you back very, very shortly. The Eurowing station calling and saying calls are known. Lufthansa 225, monitor advisory, ciao.
Yeah.
Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha, go ahead.
Yeah, 4 Bravo Alpha. We have indication that right aft door is leaking and we just had a pressure abnormal. So we'd like to descend level 100 now, please.
Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha, descent flight level 100.
So Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha, descent level 100. Right, we'll do that with thrust idle. Oh, descend. Out.
Lufthansa 1 Tango Charlie, free.
Yeah, so even though the pressure now is normal.
Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha, let me know if you need any further assistance.
Yeah, that's fine for now. I'll call you if necessary. Copy, thank you. Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha.
And Postman 3265 is an increase 24,000 for flight level 100.
Postman 3265,
very good point.
Level 100, expect 26 left.
So now I know in Germany
so 100 and,
level 100 is safe. But yes, indeed, you would have to check the charts.
Charlie, number 2 on final, wind check 200 degrees, 10 knots.
You would go in here and check your off-route altitudes there.
Charlie, expect clearance on
So the grids are 5.6, 5.1, further up 2.7, so level 100 is safe. That's fine. Yeah, if the cabin goes above 14,000 feet, there will be automatic automatic mask deployment.
Proceed well from determining
so, but what I want to demonstrate, so you can see that as we're descending now. Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha, say again, please.
If you have a second, could you pass number of passengers, fuel, and if you have dangerous goods on board?
Okay, very nice. So we have 155 passengers. The fuel on board currently is 5.2 tons, about 2 hours, 20 minutes remaining flight time, and no dangerous goods on board.
Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha, copy 155, 2 hours and 20, and no dangerous goods.
Correct. So very nice. So he asked for how many passengers we have, how much fuel. Now, when you get asked for fuel, not all the controllers know how much 5,000 kilograms is for an A320, right? So it's always a good idea to tell the controller the kilogram value, but also what that equates to as a flight time. So average fuel flow 2,400 kilograms per hour times 2 is 4,800. So 2 hours 15 is the approximate remaining flight time, right? And then very interesting as well, control is interested in asking you if you have any dangerous goods on board, because sometimes you carry acid, batteries, sometimes even radioactive material, very low radiating material, but it could still have radioactive material on board. So that's why they would want to know that. So we did say we want to have the FMS calculate the remaining fuel, so let's do level 100. So cruise level 100. And then it is estimating fuel on board 3.9 tons. And min diversion for Leipzig is 3.2. So we still have
On a 1 Tango Charlie.
enough fuel to get to Berlin, okay.
200 degrees, 10 knots, runway 22, cleared land.
Exactly.
Confirm
Yeah,
1
that's what
Tango
we should
Charlie,
do.
22, cleared land. So wir habt hier schon zweimal falsch ausgesprochen, ne? 1 Tango
So
Charlie,
again,
cleared land.
that's the value
Kein Problem.
that we're looking for
22, cleared land.
to decrease.
Tower 290, right heading 080.
So any bigger
Right,
pressure
080,
inside
right,
compared to outside, so that differential pressure means it's exerting stress on the fuselage. And hence on the door.
Flight level 280.
Climbing level 280, Postman 73 Bravo.
And also, you can imagine, as you decrease the pressure difference, the air has less force to leak outside.
Second.
It probably won't stop the noise, the whistling sounds.
Yeah,
but it can.
You can
it
try
can
on
sometimes
1 to
help.
6, 4 to 5. Maybe they cover you, maybe not. But I think they are closing after the aircraft that is currently.
And I do have.
Right, well, we'll give it a shot, but
I do have had situations in the past where we did have some cabin crew contact us, telling us there was a loud hissing noise, and quite often
Itaro 290, descend to flight level 70.
it's actually
70, Itaro 2.
the overwing exits, these ones here.
Postman 73 Bravo, direct Whiskey Romeo Bravo.
They often can cause some hissing,
Postman
whistling
3265,
noise.
descend to flight level 80. Lufthansa 8 Echo Uniform, switch advisory 2.
Now, is there a need to descend like an emergency descent? I mean, if the cabin pressure is pretty normal, then I would just descend idle power. I wouldn't go speed brakes out and sure, if it happens that there is an increase like we had up to 4,000 feet per minute several times, or in regular intervals, then I actually would descend quicker. But otherwise, like in this case now, it's okay. Just descend. Our engine anti-ice is off again. Cool. Why wouldn't we go below level 100 here in Germany? Why do you think I'm keen on staying at level 100? Well, fly faster, burn less fuel. Yes, exactly. Airspace class. What's below us? Yeah, it will be uncontrolled. Echo airspace noise regulation.
Terra 290.
No, you can expect below us to have echo airspace
4050
in many parts of Germany, and that's where you may have uncontrolled VFR traffic.
Although, I mean,
3-1, 1 Tango Charlie. Vielen Dank für den Service. Schönen Abend dir. Gute Nacht.
I'm trying to think. Echo. There was a change, wasn't there, with Echo airspace?
Also kannst du ja auch daneben setzen, ne?
So I think Echo airspace was above 5,000 above ground. I think there's a mandatory transponder usage now.
Itaro 290 left heading.
But I mean, there could be VFR traffic that is squawking 7,000. Yeah, exactly, right. It's EDDS mandatory, but they could squawk 7,000. They don't have to be in contact with ATC though in Echo airspace. That's the thing.
11 for Postman 325.
Postman 325 confirmed.
And that's why still, you may get traffic info from ATC. But it may just be the case that the other traffic doesn't see you. At start. Good. Right, let's see. Is Berlin still online? Yes, looks like it. Although ground is online and tower, it seems. But I don't have ATIS. I'll cruise. Yeah, go ahead, 4 Bravo Alpha.
Yeah, you continue to Berlin?
Yes, we continue to Berlin for now.
Okay, Ring 4 Bravo Alpha in that case. Monitor advisory 122, that's Malate, and have a good landing. Bye-bye.
Thanks for all the service. 122.8 Eurowings 4 Bravo Alpha. Bye bye. Yeah, good job. Great job by him. I love how he interacted and asked for the you know, passengers aboard, fuel, and if we had dangerous goods or not. Exactly, Fabian. All right. So, yeah, I'd rather be level 100 just to make sure that we don't run into any VFAR traffic here. Yes, you can see. Yeah, logged off. Fantastic. That's also good. Very nice. So you can see we still have 4.6 pounds per square inch differential pressure. So if you look at 1 square inch, about, you know, just over 2 kilograms of weight on that little area. Still a lot. That is still a lot of pressure. Right. Could you use that switch on the overhead to depressurize the plane? I mean, yeah, the question is, why would you do that? Just to get rid of the rest of the differential pressure? Yeah, I mean, you could. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Now, so we're still flying 280 knots. Now, let me just check something here. So we had a fairly high cost index. I think it was 50, wasn't it? Yeah, 50. So what do you think would make sense to conserve some fuel? What cost index would we, or should we put in? Five, okay, 10 or 20, 5. So what if I put in 0? What speed is that? Yeah, some people saying 0. That's not green dot, no. It's not green dot, no. Exactly, max range. Exactly that. Yeah. So the max range cruise means that you are giving up maybe 2% on the fuel. So you use, let's say, 2 to 3% more fuel than green dot, but you have a noticeable higher airspeed. So if you look at the airspeed now, 250 knots in long range cruise. Yeah. So absolutely true. If you want to have the absolute minimum fuel flow value, you would go down to green dot. But then, of course, your indicated airspeed drops a lot lower. So long range cruise is a good trade-off between using just a tad more fuel, but doing a lot better ground or indicated airspeed. So let's say we continue with cost index 0. Now we expect to land at 4.1 tons, and there's still potential to get a shortcut as well, right? So this, yeah, we're getting a bit late now, so it's just ground online at Berlin, it seems. It's just past 10, isn't it? Yeah, 10:30. Alright, doesn't matter. Anything else we could do? I would put the landing lights on, to be honest. Since we're already at level 100. Then let's get the weather. And let's prepare for the approach. Let's get the weather. It shouldn't really... Nah. I get your point, yeah. You're saying because of level 100, it's now limiting the speed to that. It depends on... You're right, it could be. It depends on how it does the speed restriction. But to my understanding right now, there's no speed constraint here. So let's have a look. What happens now? So 110, it even has a bit higher speeds. So not lower, definitely not lower than that. But good point. Good point. Yeah. Hey, Pete. Yeah, I keep telling you Pete, but I hope you're alright for that. Hope you had a good trip back home again. Good. Right, let me see if I can test your knowledge a bit more. See if that what that does. PD had a good flight home. Yeah, I had a good drive home, but yesterday I was really tired. Right, ATCUP below 120. That's already good. So that's fine. Honestly, with cost index 0 at level 100, I wouldn't expect to get higher than 250. Oh, interesting. So I failed wheel brake 1. But it's not showing up. Let's have a look at the wheel page. Okay. Hey, Bruno. Oh. Ay, today's not our day, guys. Yeah, wheel, tire, low pressure. Ay. No action items. Clear. Nothing status. What do we do, guys? Help. Now what? Freitag der 13. Yeah. So what do we do now? Huh? We type panic. Right, we'll go 24 left. Try. Reset anti-skid. Do you think that will help? I mean, what do you think, like, is a sensor problem? I've already given away the... so, two possibilities, guys, okay? One, it's a faulty indicator. It's a faulty pressure indication. So the pressure is still 200 psi. Or number two, it's correct. We've lost the pressure in the tire number 1. So how do we go about this? Do we ignore this? Or do we go worst case? Yeah, exactly. Get the repair kit out. Send the FO. We go worst case. Yes, we do. So I'm going to get the weather data right now. I like your approach with flaps 4. Yeah. Now, right here, we don't have anything. I think it's just brake system. What about auto brake? Would you guys use auto brake? Yeah, exactly, Bruno. So what would you do? Would you use auto brake or not? Touch down to the side that isn't damaged first. Yeah.
Lufthansa 2 to Romeo, how short are you?
How short are you? I'm only 5'7". Yeah, so I actually personally, I would go no auto brakes, but I can't set that here. I actually would go no auto brakes and use reverse. Yeah, max reverse. Fire brigade on standby. I like that. Let's think it the other way around, Kolo. That's a good point. What happens if the tire blows completely and for some reason it gets very hot, or the brakes there get very hot and suddenly we get a fire, and then we didn't have the fire brigade on standby, and then we have to evacuate and someone gets injured, right? Then potentially we could get in trouble for not having activated the fire brigade. Now the next question is, would we prepare the cabin crew and the passengers for emergency landing?
Lufthansa 55 Romeo, line up, runway 2 for Romeo, 2 for right.
Oh, I like that as well. No flap protection after landing. Why? I like that input, but why? Yeah, exactly. You get point deductions. Yes, exactly. Yeah, good point. FOD may hit the flaps. Correct. Very good. I like that. That's a really, really, really good point. Excellent. Very good. Yeah, so I mean, no doubt, I would have fire brigade on standby, and then after landings, here comes the question. So, a couple of questions that come to my mind is: would you prepare the cabin crew and the passengers for an emergency landing? Yes or no? Would you stay on the runway or taxi off the runway? Would you have fire brigade check the wheels before you taxi on? Yeah. I'm totally on that point with you guys. So I would tell the cabin crew, but I wouldn't prepare for a crash landing. Yeah, Pax would get very nervous, and the risk of an evacuation, even though potentially yes, I don't think that's a big risk in that case, right? Yes, so the thing is, the question is,
climbing flight level 220.
If you guys say that you would have the fire brigade check the wheels before you taxi on, which would be a good idea. The question is though, where do you do that? Do you do that on the runway, or do you taxi off? And I talked to someone from the fire brigade, airport fire brigade, not long ago, and they actually say it's better for them if you stay on the runway. Why? Because normally a runway is much wider than a taxiway, and those really heavy trucks, they cannot go onto the grass, because if they do, they always run into risk of getting stuck, and that's something you don't want to do. So I know we pilots think, oh, you know, we don't want to cause too much trouble, too much hassle for the controllers and for other traffic, especially if it's a single runway. But honestly, it doesn't take that long. It takes 5, maybe 10 minutes. The fire brigade can quickly check. They do it with their thermal cameras. They check the heat development at that wheel, and then if they say all good, we would just taxi off. Right? You could switch off the left engine in our case, and then taxi off with the right engine. Right? Doesn't take that long. But if you taxi off the runway, the fire brigade has issues coming to the aircraft, and then if you have to evacuate, there's less room for the passengers, right? You never know what's outside of the taxiways. There could be ditches, there could be cables, there could be, I don't know, FOD, whatever. So yeah, you don't want to do that. Good, guys. We've prepared for the approach. The only thing that's missing, let's do approach 24 left. Zulu. Where's 24 left? Zulu. 24 left. That's right. It's just too many charts. There it is. Right, so Zulu is minimums 350. 350. And there it is. And left we go. Right. Let's pretend we've briefed everything. Berlin, Brandenburg traffic, Eurowings 4, Bravo Alpha, turning base, runway 24 left, about 20 miles out in Berlin, Brandenburg. Actually, let's go direct to Delta Bravo 452. Outstana. When would I fly to 738? When the update is out. And as far as I know, the iFly has not been updated yet, has it? We have India Bravo Sierra Whiskey indicated out of 3,000 Xanim, 3 degree profile, minimum 350. Missed approach, back to Glasdorf, climbing 3,000 initially, and then return. It hasn't, right? Okay, so once the update is out, thanks Bruno. Once the update is out, then we'll check it out. Good. Okay, so landing technique. So regarding the low pressure there, obviously it would make sense to touch down softly. Okay. So any bigger stress on that tire could lead to a burst. Burst of the tire. So I think that that is something we aim for. We have a long runway, so the landing distance available is 4,000 meters. So there's no need to slam it down. We're doing a config full, try to get as much speed out as possible. Gentle touchdown, and then, like I said, we'll use a reverse thrust as much as possible, but yeah, try not to use the normal brakes, and that's why we leave non-standard auto brake off. Here comes the localizer. Glide to approach mode. We have glide slope lock blue category dual. Here comes flaps 1. Speed check flaps 1. Status is seen. Nothing new. Remove status. Guess runway. No, I don't think you need to do anything fancy with the ailerons. Or I don't think I even would try to touch down with the right main gear, because I don't know, any kind of messing about ailerons, then you overcorrect to the other side. Here comes flaps 2, speed check flaps 2, and then the other side does slam down. So ideally you touch down both sides nice and gently at the same time. That I think would be best. But in Brandenburg traffic, rings 4 Bravo Alpha, 15 miles final, 24 left. Oh, you mean the PNG or the Zebo? Ah. I'm gonna fly the 777 on Friday in X-plane. Right, Tesla. Tesla factory. Lol. Would you? That's also a good, interesting point. Would you burn off fuel, Jacob? How much slower do you think you would get if you burn, let's say, 1 more ton of fuel? I mean, it's a valid point. Don't get me wrong, Jacob. I like these inputs. The question is, though, I would rather have a little bit more fuel for the go-around. Yeah, I would say so too. A ton lighter, maybe 1 or 2 knots. Right? It doesn't really make much difference. Speed managed, gear down. So yeah, I'd rather have the fuel for, you know, if I feel like we're flaring too long or I'm coming down too fast, just to slam the thrust levers into the toga notch, go around and try again, right? So I'd rather have that fuel available. Here comes flaps 3, speed check flaps 3, spoiler armed. Flaps full, speed check flaps 4. Interesting. Brakes released.
2,500.
Interesting. It actually tells us auto brake is not available. Lol. Okay, so after landing it down, now clever aircraft. I think it sees it the same way, that we shouldn't use auto brakes with the pressure issue that we have. And so now it's just reaffirming us that brakes are released. In-up system auto brake. Landing is pre-supply. Well, we've done that. That's fine. Interesting.